A new SARS-CoV-2 variant has emerged, prompting some countries, including the Philippines, to close their borders to countries with known Omicron cases. With the threat of Omicron looming over the country's economy, the tourism department talks about plans to safely reopen the country. To tell us more about this, we now have Jen Calimon. She is reporting to us live from Malabon. Good morning again, Jen. Could you tell us how the country's tourism sector looks 2 years after this pandemic started?
Yes, Charles, according to Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat, prior to pandemic, the contribution of the Department of Tourism in our GDP was at 12.8%. Then during the pandemic, it went down to 5.4%. Our tourism employment also went down from 5.7 million to 4.6 million. In addition, domestic tourism arrivals in 2019 was close to 110 domestic tour trips, but in 2020 it went down to 24 million, a negative 77% decline. But this 2021, it became somehow better due to vaccination. And because of the gradual resumption, this September we had an uptick in domestic destination like in Siargao, Boracay, except Apayao, which is in alert level 2. So in preparation for the influx of tourists, the DOT had issued minimum public health protocols for compliance of DOT-accredited hotels and resorts. Charles?
Let's talk a little bit more about these measures that you mentioned. You mentioned there is an uptick in domestic tourism, lots of people doing some revenge consumption, revenge vacationing. But in the middle of all this, Jen, how is the safety of tourists and workers ensured by the DOT?
Mm-hmm. Secretary Puyat said that they prioritize vaccination. So now majority or 77% of tourism workers are fully vaccinated since July when vaccination program started. So this vaccination does not only include hotel workers, like in Boracay, they also vaccinated masseurs, drive instructors, and other workers. Tourism workers now in Boracay is 94% vaccinated. Baguio and Coron are 100% vaccinated. Bohol is 95% vaccinated, and some areas are 80 to 90% vaccinated. Here in NCR, Charles, tourism workers are 99% vaccinated. That's why hotels were able to open.
Right, Jen, we do know that the tourism sector specifically has been hit heavily by this pandemic. But now when just everything's about to open up, we now have this new variant of concern, the Omicron. How are authorities anticipating this will affect the entire sector?
Yes, Charles. Secretary Puyat is confident that we can handle the situation better now because a lot of people are already vaccinated compared to Delta before. But she said that let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But again, the DOT reiterates the importance of adherence to minimum public health standards, whether tourists are vaccinated or not. So that means wearing of masks, regular hand washing, physical distancing, even when on vacation. They also told hotel and resort workers not to let their guard down. Whatever variant there is, we should still prioritize vaccination and comply with health and safety protocols. Charles?
Right, Jen, I understand that there, again, has been a shift in policy insofar as the green list countries are concerned. Could you tell us more about this, as well as other policies now in place under this new setup?
Yes, Charles. The strategy of our government is really to tighten border controls to prevent the entry of Omicron variant. So Romulo Puyat said that they were supposed to reopen today for fully vaccinated, visa-free green countries, but experts advised them to temporarily suspend it. And so those who were in green list must also follow the quarantine protocol set by the government. If they are fully vaccinated, they must have a pre-departure negative swab test. Then upon arrival, they have to undergo facility-based quarantine and test on the third day. If they tested negative, then they may go home, but they still need to finish the expected number of home quarantine. Now, for those who are not fully vaccinated, has no pre-departure test, or their vaccination status cannot be validated, they need to undergo facility-based quarantine and test on the 7th day, and they must complete the expected number of home quarantine. Charles?
Thanks for that, Jen, and do stay safe. That was Jen Calimon reporting live from Malabon.